stuck in the hurt.
It's on a beautiful Friday. It's TG.
Of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries. We'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air. Look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together. It will all seem better outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever. I'll be yours forever. Are we part of this circus? Is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this a fate? At least now I'm feeling better. I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air. Look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together. It will all seem better outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever. I'll be yours forever.
It's another
Good.
breakfast hour.
All right, so it is TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Listen, we're having some good conversation this morning. It is me and, of course, the lady Curly this morning. It's TGIF Friday with Michael G and Curly. And it is one of those mornings when we have some very deep-rooted conversation that was necessary to have, because we do not sometimes have these conversations, because
Yeah.
we find that people either skew away from it or don't even remember that these are actual conversations that we should be having. And we are so rooted in, we need to teach the Bible. We need to teach the Bible. We need to teach the Bible. And all of it is all about teaching the Bible. And I'm saying it should be. But teaching the Bible don't mean we have to read the story of John, Mark, and Luke the whole time. There are lots of things that comes from the Bible that needs to be taught, and we absent ourselves from teaching and let everybody fall in this pit of not understanding. And that's where the
I'll
conversation
ask
is.
you a question, Mikey G.
Yes.
That we can get through all of the Bible? Is that what you're saying?
No, we can really read. We want persons to study the Bible, but in studying the Bible, we don't just study the parts that sound good to us. Yeah, look at what we're talking about this morning. We're talking about trick or treating and Halloween and all these things. And I'm certain that when last year have I gone to the temple? Because I'm not calling it place that I go to worship, no church anymore. I go to the temple of God to worship, not to the church. The church is going to come there and not going to worship them. It sounds like I'm just semanticizing or something. That's a new word. Well, I am saying, when you think about it, when last you ever gone to the temple to hear somebody talk about these demonic things and teach in the church more about these things? When last? Tell me. Just tell me, just off the top of your brain.
I haven't. And, you know, maybe it is that this is where there's an opportunity for this medium to expound expound on those things, to remind persons that maybe it's not enough on a Sabbath to get to everything, you know.
Right.
So here we are with an opportunity to support by speaking about those things that from a day will not be able to cover everything. And it's interesting because persons often look at the Adventists and like, you're at church for the whole day, and even with that,
Oh my God, it's such a
the
boring
whole,
thing. How
the
boring
whole
should it
day.
get?
But the truth is that the whole day is not enough to get through everything that needs to for us to pay attention to. So here we have an opportunity to say, you know what? Let's talk about those things that are not so readily spoken of in church. And Halloween is one of the things. And so we have an opportunity to support by doing just that.
Well, we want to be sure that we use every medium, every opportunity that we have to allow others to learn more about the things that they probably wouldn't get on mainstream, going to the temple church services, or they wouldn't mainstream church services don't bring those things. They usually bring your neighbor bad mind you, and
Ah,
I'm saddened by these things that we only can teach about how much money you broke and have no money, and you have to go bring more seed come, and the thing is a farming community you have, right? And it interferes with me. Yeah, it interferes with me that all the whole thing is boiled down to is actually planting seeds and people bad minding you, right? It troubled me. And I'm just clichéing that a little bit, just just
yeah.
just 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 making some comedy out of it a little bit, but it's also for me a little bit heartrending to see that the real deep rooted things that we should be talking and teaching should be serious teaching stuff. Because when it
Yeah.
comes to the whole, today's all gospel Friday, we take it on personally that we're mix it with the secular stuff, because Flashpoint actually mix secular stuff during the week. We do it because we know that the whole man is also, the man is separated. He's spiritual and he's also a social being. So you can't just have him spiritualize the whole time. So you have to allow him to socialize. When he's finished socializing, it's time for him to come in the presence of God. So he's not going to be doing the same things as he's doing during the week in the presence of God. No. And that don't mean he's gone so far off the reservation that today is coming back. You were all a go-go all week. No, I'm not talking about that, right? I'm just saying, here is where we have the opportunity, and we must take it serious to actually make this the opportunity to teach our families, our children, and anyone in your family, whether be the wife, the husband, the auntie, the whoever, blocks this from happening, you know that that person is the demons that actually causes it. Could be me, right? I'm not even putting it on nobody else but myself if it don't happen. I leave it right there.
So I will say to you, Michael, that I will endorse the fact that the ministry is more than what happens on a Sabbath. And so for the
Right.
all of us, it is our mission to educate, edify, to inform. So whichever medium we use. So it could be having a conversation at work. Halloween may have been an opportunity for us to say, have you ever thought about what it actually means when you celebrate uh, this event? Really, what is it that you're celebrating? Have you ever contemplated it? So
Yes.
even in our conversations is an opportunity. We can use it as an opportunity to steer persons to an awareness, the reality of what it really means. And sometimes, as I mentioned before, people are just going about and celebrating from the commercial side of it and the the festive side of it, and miss the spiritual
Well,
connotations that it
all
has.
right.
And it's really the intent of the devil. So if we are focused on the non-spiritual, then he would have captured us and use it as an opportunity to lead us where he wants us to, because then it it becomes trivial. I mean, it's not that bad. It's just taking the children to get candy. It just so happened that they're dressed as ghouls, or as some mythical creature. But the real purpose is to give them candy. So if you
To give
trivialize
them
it,
some sweet. To
correct,
give them some sweet. Giving the
exactly, and
sweets
then
out.
go back to brush day, where we now have to insist that they brush their teeth. So um it is all dressed in one, just using the opportunity for us to speak the truth of what it represents and the impact that it will certainly
We must do that in every chance we get. And of course, this morning, we are celebrating a few things. I understand we're going to be celebrating a birthday, and of course, yeah, the news will come up afterwards. I'm thinking birthday celebration comes up next.
Of course, it's always a good thing to celebrate a birthday, and it's not every day that you can celebrate another year of life. And of course, I want to say an extremely extra special birthday. Yeah, that's a birthday song being
Happy
played.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to
Yes, of
you.
course, my dear sister Jackie is celebrating an extra special birthday today. And so we want to say happy birthday from the Flashpoint team. And I'm sure Coralie, Karen, and of course Mikey G, they're going to also add their quota of welcome and a happy birthday.
well,
Well,
I
happy
can't
birthday. Yes, go ahead, Corey.
I can't sing, so I will leave the singing to Michael. But Jackie,
Oh man, come on,
happy
come on,
birthday.
come on.
My singing is reserved for the very few, myself and my shower. But Jackie, a wonderful, wonderful day to celebrate you, to make sure that you be receptive of all the accolades and all that will be doled out to you today. So enjoy it to the max, and make sure that at the end of the day that you would have allowed nothing to take away your attention from celebrating another year that God has blessed you.
Well, I started out wanting to say happy birthday first, right? But
Yes.
then after Corey finished, how can I say anything else? It's all said, I'm done.
You have to sing.
Happy birthday! Let me just say happy birthday. And somebody say I must sing. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Compleanno feliz, compleanno feliz, compleanno, compleanno, compleanno feliz. Ah, that's it. That's it, my code of happy birthday this morning, Lady Lisa. That's it. That's all I have for this morning.
Yes, so happy birthday, Lady Jackie. I'm wishing you many, many, many more happy ones. Thank you for being such a wonderful friend and sister. And I know it's time for the news. It's time for us to hear what's happening right across Cayman and the rest of the world, of course. And of course, we are happy to bring you the news brought to us today by Asai Ultrasound Imaging. And of course, let's hear what the news has to say to us today.
Good morning and welcome to the news on Flashpoint Radio. Top stories coming out of the Cayman Islands. According to Cayman Compass, there is a developing story where the government is facing turmoil after Deputy Premier Andre Ebanks, along with 3 prominent officials, resigned from the United People's Movement, leaving the ruling coalition without a majority. Ebanks, joined by Sustainability Minister Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes, Health Minister Sabrina Turner, and Parliamentary Secretary Heather Bodden, announced their resignations, citing concerns over government dysfunction, lack of professionalism, and a lack of respect for due process. The departures have spurred discussions of an early election, with Ebanks stating that the time has come for Cayman's people to determine the nation's path forward. Premier Juliana O'Connor Connolly and Governor Jane Owen are meeting to discuss potential outcomes as Parliament faces unprecedented instability. Premier pushes for Cayman's fiscal independence. In another government development, Premier Juliana O'Connor Connolly has called for increased financial autonomy for the Cayman Islands. Highlighting the current restrictions imposed by the UK's fiscal framework for responsibility, she argues that greater local control is needed to effectively manage and fund major projects such as new schools and infrastructure. As Cayman navigates long-debated developments, including a landfill and cruise port, the Premier is advocating for negotiations that could ease the limitations placed on the island's spending. Lagging worldwide PwC report finds. A recent PwC survey has revealed that only 2% of companies worldwide are fully prepared to withstand cyber attacks. The report shows that despite the rising cost associated with data breaches, averaging $3.3 million, most organizations are underprepared. From PwC Cayman's Risk Assessment Services, Yusara Chesrock emphasized the particular risk for Cayman's financial sector, citing the need for stronger cybersecurity measures and a culture of awareness and compliance to protect the region's reputation as a secure financial hub. General Aviation Terminal design nearing completion. The Cayman Islands Airports Authority has announced that the design for a new general aviation terminal is set to be finalized by the end of November. International firm Avia NG Airport Consultants is handling the project, which will bring expanded facilities, including aircraft and heliport aprons and a small marine dock. Construction is expected to begin next year, pending cabinet approval as part of the CIAA's 2041 master plan. Shadows and Serenades brings musical delights. In entertainment, Cayman National Choir and Orchestra treated audiences to a musical celebration with their Shadows and Serenades concert at the Hartwell Theatre, directed by Melody Gifford and Alina McKenna, the evening featured everything from Broadway hits to Caymanian folk songs. Special guest Randy Shillette and young soloist Ryan Nook captivated the crowd with a traditional performance honoring Cayman's rich seafaring culture. In regional news, Prime Minister Rowley urges citizens to spread light on Diwali holiday. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, has sent his Diwali greetings, calling on citizens to embrace the festival's themes of light over darkness and good over evil. In his address, Dr. Rowley reminded citizens of the spiritual significance of Diwali, celebrated across the nation, and encouraged all to seek knowledge, connect with God, and to take personal responsibility. He acknowledged Hinduism's rich heritage and philosophy, which he says has shaped Trinidad and Tobago's cultural fabric. Quote, "Let us continue to spread the light of Diwali across our beloved Trinidad and Tobago," end quote, he urged, ending his message with Sabak Diwali. Finance Minister steps in to settle Caribbean Airlines pilots' pay dispute. Still in Trinidad and Tobago, the Finance Minister, Colin Imbert, has announced his support for Caribbean Airlines Limited, CAL, amid a pay dispute with the airline's pilots. Protests have been ongoing as pilots press for wage adjustments dating back to 2015. Imbert expressed concern, noting that while CAL has made operational gains, it still relies on financial support from the ministry. The airline continues to subsidize its payroll significantly, with pilots' salaries constituting 33% of the airline's wage bill. Imbert aims to provide further assistance to ensure a fair resolution, calling for good sense to prevail in these negotiations. Still in Trinidad and Tobago, TCL launches plastic-free pilot program for cement deliveries. Trinidad Cement Limited, TCL, has launched a plastic-free delivery initiative as part of its sustainability efforts. The program is expected to remove approximately 70,000 kilograms of plastic from circulation each year, as it eliminates plastic wrapping on cement pallets delivered to hardware stores. In partnerships with several major hardware suppliers, TCL's initiatives aligns with their regional portfolio, which promotes waste reduction and circular economic practices. The company hopes this program will set a new environmental standard across Trinidad and Tobago's construction industry. Now to Jamaica. New Education Minister Dr. Donna Morris Dixon pledges to unlock every child's potential. Jamaica's newly appointed Minister of Education, Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, has vowed to make early childhood education a priority in her efforts to elevate Jamaica's education standards. During her first visit to the ministry's headquarters, Dr. Dixon emphasized the importance of literacy, numeracy, and tailored support for children with special needs. Her goal is to ensure no child is left behind, saying, quote, "The success of the Ministry of Education means the success of our country," end quote. Dr. Dixon will build upon her predecessor's work, focusing on effective early interventions to set a strong educational foundation for all Jamaican children. Police in St. James send interesting message to wanted man. In an unusual move, police in St. James have taken to social media with a message directed at Dante Freelance Dawkins, a man wanted in connection with murder charges. The Jamaica Constabulary Force's message encouraged Dawkins to turn himself in, suggesting he could even make use of the reward for his own capture to, quote, top up, end quote, his accounts. The message, which ended with "a win is a win," has generated significant reactions online as police continue to intensify their manhunt. That wraps up today's top headline on the Breakfast Hour. Stay tuned for more updates on Flashpoint Radio.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
G, and of course, the Lady Cordy Karen this morning. It's the breakfast hour with a difference this morning. It's all Gospel Friday, yeah. Cordy, it has been a minute, There are many things that came out of the news this morning.
What piqued your attention?
Of course, first thing that going to come to my attention is government, right? First thing. Well, it came first. But then what sparks my attention was the plastic wrappers, right? So government first, but then the plastic wrappers got my full attention after taking off cement bags and taking it out into rain, right? I don't understand that. So I would want to know what's the proposal for taking off plastic wrappers of cement, considering the nature of the thing.
Well, the idea is the whole the concept around preserving the earth, and so the more friendly the materials are, the
Yes.
sustainable, the sustainability of the earth is what is the ultimate aim.
The ultimate gain is to preserve our natural habitat right now. But,
Right.
but yes,
Yeah. So the porting of it is secondary. Is what I would come away with.
yeah. What is no? So my thing is not that you want to get rid of the plastic, which you can't do. This is already a no-brainer, right? So
What do you mean? Are
it's
you
not
saying
going to happen.
that
It's not going to happen because all the phones and stuff, you have to get rid of those phones and make some full metal phones. The parts in there and all.
oh my. All right. So you won't get rid of it, but the aim is to reduce.
So so I'm saying let's reduce this wildness of what plastic is, but then cement and not covered when rain falling and transporting the thing. I mean, I'm not saying that there. And so here's where it goes. It must be a solution that we are looking at, and somebody has seen the problem and has now made a business from it. So whatever that, what we could do right now is start to look at what could replace plastic, and then put that as an alternative material and use that to cover cement. No, we make a killing off that, right? So let's try to figure it out.
Of course. Or I mean, if we're talking about the portability of the cement, maybe they will use enclosed trucks. So it means that they're not going to have to. The vehicle manufacturers will now be challenged to
All
make
right.
those big vehicles that are
But
covered.
here is where we do things and without considering other things. Consequences are a result of action. Every action, and it's the laws of physics, it doesn't change, because I am black or white or pink or yellow. It don't change because I'm bright, not so bright or less bright. It doesn't change.
The law is the law.
Where does this all end when you do that? Tell me if you see it, where where does it end? Where does it end?
The dollars and cents of it is the economy of it.
But
Is
here's
what
the
you have.
your home, for example, because this is construction materials alone, just construction materials. We're not talking about anything else. We're not talking about having what you call a soda or a bottle of vinegar or something. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just talking about construction now. First thing
Right.
is that we have to get enclosed trucks. That's more money. We have to get a proper way of storing it. That's more money. Yeah, and all of that is more money. Where does the buck stop? And who does it stop and who does it stop with? Is a question. You know?
With those who need to acquire all of those things. So anybody who is going to be, as you're saying, construction, anybody who has to think about repairing their existing structure, anybody who encounters or requires the use of cement is going to always now have to pay more
I
for
would
it.
like to ask our listeners, just think with me. Let's do a think tank quickly. Who do you think those persons are?
Each and every one of us, every one of us. Um,
So what we have done is we have a set of people who are creating more problems, more monetary problems for me. By solving one, they have created a bigger one because I never have money to build house in the first place. And now we can find no, we can just take house after you can just decide you're not going to own any house now. You're not going to build any house.
it goes back to the financial advisor's statement, to rent or buy. So
And turbine.
yeah.
Well,
But
I'm
what
all for
about the other news item? Anything else that jumps out at you?
yeah, we're talking about the government and the whole thing of the
Coalition and the
the
fact that
members of the coalition government resigning. And of course, for a recap of those persons who are listening and are not privy to the information that comes out of this conversation, it is that we have in the Cayman Islands what you call a coalition government. What that means is that independent elected persons would come together and form the government that the Cayman Island is now presently boasting. And of course, those persons now are disagreeing on various fronts, and that's what's happening at this point. So they came together as independent minds and thinkers that could have what you call join their thoughts together and form a unified body called the present government of the Cayman Islands. What we did see earlier on, though, is a breakdown when the premier who was duly elected by the people, was then by means of internal what's the word? I'm looking for a word here. From internal I don't want.
Randall's
I'm trying to avoid some words, right? I don't want to use those words. So my mind is just picking them because if I'd said what I wanted to say, I'd be just saying the conversation. But by internal matters, let's use it there. Internal matters would have led to the resignation or the booting of the then premier, if I might say it like that, Premier Panton, and then they would have installed their new prime minister or a new prime minister to the Cayman Islands in the person of Miss O'Connelly, Prime Minister Premier O'Connelly this morning. So here is the problem: we're having a challenge that there are persons now are disagreeing with some of the ideas that this present government, under the leadership of Miss Juliana O'Connelly leadership, is now having. And then, so I'm not sure where the disparities are because they're saying there are different things. I don't think they're coming out clear with it. But then there are people who are saying they have resigned already. And so here is what we are looking at: a new and early election being called. On the backside of that, though,
Yeah, in the
It is
interim,
something else.
that the desk of the Governor General issued a statement,
Yes.
you know, to in the intention being to reassure the community, the country, that they are aware of it, and you know the discussions are being had to ensure that there is no disruption. So the civil servants, the civil service in general, continues to be operative at this
That would
time.
be, the civil servant would be what? The police? Because
All of everybody that is paid by government.
everybody's paid by government. All right. So what we need is now what we're going to be seeing is a more stronger presence of the police in presence, because then unrest can be a situation. Unrest comes right afterwards, and so we have to look at unrest being something that we could see. We're not going to say it's going to happen, but then you're going to put more boots on the ground to ensure that you always have a few people who are headstrong and think highly of themselves and start to do things in a different
So,
way.
Mikey G, one of the things that also on a lighter side is the instruction to the wanted man freelance
Hold on,
that the
hold on, hold on, hold on.
extension.
I want you to hold on to this. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I want you to hold on 1 minute. Like I said, just but hold on. There is something else that we need to highlight before we get out of this. Is that there is a man, Makiva Bush, the Honorable Makiva Bush, is actually forming a new party.
Had right earlier, I think earlier news item had mentioned that he is bringing a team as an alternative to the present government.
And
Yes.
so I'm sitting here this morning. We're talking about this conversation. We're having this conversation, and it would be prudent for me not to assume, but to consider the thoughts that I have in mind.
Possibility.
But possibilities that maybe some of the persons who have resigned may want to seek opportunities in this new government. I'm not sure. I'm just somebody who thinks a lot,
You're
and
not assuming. You're not assuming, but
I'm not
you're
assuming. I'm not
you're
assuming.
positing that there's a strong possibility that there is a
No, no,
correlation.
I won't assume anything. And I won't even suggest it too much. But I'm just thinking that it could be along the line. That it's a maybe. So I say I'm maybeing, right? I'm going to use that here.
Yeah, but Michael, 1 + 1 = 2. So you were very intentional in
One and one
putting
equal 11.
together.
In Mike's math, 1 and 1 is 11.
Yeah, so you have to watch that mathematical formula go.
In
All right.
quickly coming to your defense is Lady Elise. So let's go to the lighter side of things.
Let's get lighter. Let's get lighter.
The police issuing a warning, and included in the warning is that the wanted person could benefit from from bringing himself to the police station. So if he brings in himself, he could be given the award. So so that his account.
What award is the reward of bringing in himself?
Yes.
Hold on. That's a new twist. I've never thought. So when you think about when you think about crime, there's a slogan that goes out, and I remember this one when I was growing up. It says, "Call crime stop because crime pays."
So
Solving crime pays. Solving crime.
I messed it up.
Thank you.
Did I mess that one up? It's solving the crime that pays, and here's the solve of the crime.
Right. So in this instance, he can benefit from his own crime. So your original thought would have prevailed in this instance. So here it is. He is also going to be one who can benefit by turning himself in. So
I was always thinking about this crime stopping thing, Lady Crowley, a long time ago, when it says crime pays, solving crime. Yes, thank you, Lady Elise, for reminding me that it's solving crime that pays. But here's a rule of it, and I always have this conversation. We have talked about it quite a few times. I know it's time for us to get out of the studio. It's our time is done. But here's where it goes. Question I leave on the table this morning for our listeners this morning. We have a packed morning, and I'm telling you, we have an excited one. TGIF, it has been what you call a fantastic Friday, Lady Corley. And of course, here's the question that I want to leave on the table. Who are the persons who benefit from someone committing crime or crime in general? And you can name a few persons. You could name anybody, you could list them quickly. The
I am so not going to be. I listen.
All right, so having said that, for those who can list them, go on and try to figure it out. That's your puzzle for the weekend. Guys, stick and stay with Flashpoint. We have had a great morning with you. And of course, it's time for us to get out of here. Lady Curly, we don't want to leave us a little nugget this morning.
Just to remind us that in every situation, we serve an awesome and a great God. And so if we stop to consider him, then I believe that he will reveal himself to us. And so much so that our experience is going to be such that we're going to be calling others to have a peace and to experience him in a mighty way. Have
Well,
a
I want this
wonderful Friday. Well, I have to say fantastic Friday and a
fantastic.
wonderful weekend.
For those who are not going to have a wonderful weekend, guys, I'm sorry for you already. But here's something what I want to say. I want to tell somebody something. I want to say something to somebody. Remember to join us this evening at 6:30 for the open portal right here on Flashpoint Radio. Of course, we have a special episode this evening, second to none. Open portal this evening on Flashpoint right here. 6:30 this evening.
Oh, wonderful. And while you're at it, we just want to remind our listeners and our viewers about a Sermon Through Music series. So I'm just going to play this promotion by the Savannah Seventh day Adventist Church, and it's going to be starting November 15th. So take a listen to this
Get
one.
ready for an evening of inspiration as the Savannah Seventh day Adventist Church presents Sermon Through Music Revived. Join us at the Windsor Park Children's Playground on Friday, November 15th. We start with free health checks at 6:30 p.m. Enjoy the marching band at 7:15 and experience uplifting music and Vespers at 7:30 p.m. Reconnect, revive, and be inspired. Hope to see you there.
All right, so here you have it. Of course, join the Savannah SDA
Get
Church
ready
for
for
those
an evening.
nights, and of course, those events are those meeting times, and of course, have a wonderful, wonderful experience in the Lord. Of course, it's another Friday, fantastic Friday, as the Lady Corley would have reminded me, and I must not assume anything this week and judge anyone going forward in the weekend.
And a wonderful weekend. A wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you
Optimist
for
Creed.
joining us. Thank you for staying with us. Remember that we continue 24 hours. So stay with us. We have lots more throughout the day.
Oh, Gospel Friday, of course, Lady Elise. Of course, we have Optimist Creed this morning, taking us out, and of course, to tell somebody how positive they must remain, even when things are not going so well.
Yes, and I just want to remind our viewers as well that Sensational Sunday comes up on this Sunday. We'll have a very special episode as well that you need to just tune in and logged on to. Now, the Optimist Creed. The Optimist Creed. Promise yourself to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to greater achievements of the future. So, forget the mistakes of the past and press on to greater achievements of the future. Thank you so much for joining us on the breakfast hour. And remember to stick and stay and listen to Flashpoint. There's always something amazing happening right here.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, and we'll all seem better outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever, I'll be yours Are we part of this circus? Is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this a fate? At least now I'm feeling better, I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from